pop you right down to the table so you can see what we're doing today. We are playing with the Stampin' Up! Counting Sheep stamp set. We'll be counting sheep today with this one, right? How cute is this? And we'll be making these motion cards, sheep jumping over the moon. So, so cute. Really easy. Lots of fun techniques in this card today. I'm not only going to show you how to make the motion card, I'm going to show you how to make this background with the blending brushes. We're going to do some heat embossing, and we're going to be doing some blending with the Stampin' Blend alcohol markers. So a lot involved. So with that, I thought maybe we should jump right in and get started. So let's start with our background here. I'm going to take a piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm just going to bring in a piece of scrap paper because we're going to make a little bit of a mess. Well, not really, but we're going off the edge. So I'm taking one of Stampin' Up's blending brushes. Oh, these are so, so soft. I absolutely love these brushes. So fun. I'm going to show you a couple of quick and easy techniques with them. I'm using Night of Navy ink, and we are going to make the background here. Oh, I'm glad you guys love it. Thank you. Thanks for jumping on board today. It's good to see you guys. We are live. I'm broadcasting live today on YouTube and on Facebook. So welcome to everybody and my Stamp with Tami family. And if you are not yet a subscriber, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future fun. I do classes every week, and I know I have been on vacation. It's summer right now. It's August. But I am back, and I have so many cool things to share with you guys. Now, first of all, I'm going to note that I am a lefty, and I am going to be doing this with my right hand, so forgive me. I just rubbed that in the ink pad, the Night of Navy ink pad. I'm going to start off the edge. That's going to help get a nice smooth start here so I don't have a nice line, because when you start, sometimes you get this line, and I didn't want that. So I'm going to blend that really good. I'm going to get a little bit more. Hey, this isn't so bad for using my opposite hand, right? Maybe I should use my right hand more often. But I am starting off the edge each time. I'm getting it a little bit darker, and I'm just going down so we have a gradual, like starts darker, and then it gets a little bit lighter. So this is just a very basic technique with the blending brushes. Very easy to do. And that was just a couple of tips there on how to keep it from creating this line when you're making your background. So instead of starting on the cardstock, start off the cardstock, work onto the card. Okay. So with that, we have our background ready to go for our project. Now let's do some stamping, right? That's what you guys are here for. Stamping, fun, and techniques. Oh, so cute, right? Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. So those of you who are just jumping on, this is what we're making today. Oh my God, so cute, right? Absolutely love it. Oh, Sue wants to know why I'm using my right hand. I just thought it was easier to see if I did it that way for you guys. I was trying to, sometimes when I'm a lefty, and sometimes when I do lefty things, and those of you who are lefties totally get this, right? I cover my project, and then it's hard for you to see what I'm doing. So for you guys, I was trying something new. It didn't come out so bad. I just want you guys to be able to see it. All right, so let's do some stamping next. Bringing in some more basic white cardstock here, and we're going to play with the sheep. I love these guys. So the sheep are from the Stampin' Up! Sale-a-bration. Sale-a-bration's an awesome time of year. It used to be once a year, but this year it's twice a year. We get double the fun in Sale-a-bration, and it is this is the stamp set called Counting Sheep, and then there's a coordinating die. Each one of these, they're individual, but they obviously go as a set together. They're made to go together, and each one of these you can earn free with a $50 order. So if you had a $50 order in my online store, you could get Counting Sheep. If you had another $50 order, you could get the die set, or if you had a $100 order, you could get them both together. If you had a $150 order, you could get 3 things. So you get the idea, right? Lots of cool stuff during Sale-a-bration. So this is going on this month and next month through the end of September. However, I am told the dies, the stamp set should be around for a little while, but I'm told the dies are going to be while supplies last, and there is a good chance that they're going to sell out quickly. So if you'd like to know some more about Sale-a-bration, you can find it at stampwithtami.com, and you can shop in my online store there as well. And if you love everything you see today, all the products I'm using are available in my online store, and there's an amazing deal happening also during Sale-a-bration. We have what's called the demonstrator kit, which is the best deal hands down ever. It's you choose $126 of anything you want in my store, and you only pay $99. But then during Sale-a-bration, you get a free stamp bundle. So Stampin' a die or Stampin' a punch, brand new ones from the new catalog. So, and they could be worth up to $60. So that's like almost $80 free. That is a fantastic deal, right? Oh my God, amazing. So if you want to know more about that, you can contact me, Tami at stampwithtami.com. You can drop me a message, or you can go to stampwithtami.com and click the demonstrator link, and it tells you all about it. You don't have to do demonstrations if you don't want them. It's all totally up to you what you want to do with it, but it's a great deal no matter what. And then you get discounts and perks, and you get to be part of our Stamp It Demonstrator group, which I know a lot of my Stamp It demonstrators are on here, and I love you gals. Thanks for joining us. So I'm going to take one of those sheep, and it's the sheep that looks like he's jumping. So we have several fun sheep in that set. One's dancing, one's jumping, one's just hanging out. I just got back from my trip when I was gone last month I went to the Faroe Islands and to Iceland, and there are so many sheep there. I wanted to color these kind of like the sheep that I saw there, but then I was like, wow, they had the sheep looked like Oreos, and they were black and white, and they had all kinds of fun colors, and I thought, maybe I'll just go with generic sheep colors today. But certainly would be a lot of fun to make them different colors and jump out. So that's an idea when you're making yours. And if you make yours, if you do something off the wall different, I would love to see it. Definitely share it. I have every Saturday, I have a Saturday share here on my Facebook page. If you're on my Facebook page, there's a Saturday share, and I love to see your projects. That is one of my favorite times, when I get to see what you guys are making. All right, so now I'm going to do the moon, right? So the moon comes from the To the Moon stamp set. So this is available in my online store, and it's a really fun one. But I love the moon. I love photography. It was the reason why I was in the Faroe Islands in the first place, in Iceland. And what originally got me into photography was photographing the moon. And if any of you have tried to photograph the moon, you know it is very challenging. It's very hard to do. So then I got really challenged and really excited about doing it, and yeah, next thing you know, I was totally hooked. So another hobby of mine. So I am stamping the moon in Sahara sand ink, and that was not a really good clean stamp. So I'm going to tell you guys a little hint. See if I have it handy. If you're using these photopolymer stamps, and it depends on the table that you're working on. But sometimes if you have like a card table or something that has a little bit of a bow to it, they don't get a great stamped image sometimes. You notice that? Okay, so here's a little tip for that. I've got my Stamparatus, and this is the mat that comes inside the Stamparatus. You could actually just use the Stamparatus to stamp this. It would probably actually work better if I did that, but I've already got it mounted, so we'll just go ahead and I'm going to stamp on that mat, and that gives me a nice flat surface. Perfect. So that's a tip. Another tip. That was a bonus tip for this class. How to get that good image. Okay, so we've got our sheep, we've got our moon, and now it's time for some coloring. I am going to use the Stampin' Blends. And the colors I'm using here are Smoky Slate, Basic Black, Ivory, and a Color Lifter. And wow, Japan, welcome, welcome. That's exciting. I love it when we're worldwide. Cool, very cool. I love seeing where everybody's from and how, like when you guys post little stories. So I feel like, I love stamping with you guys anyways, but I feel like, it's like a family, and I get to know what's going on in your eyes, and it's a lot of fun. I'm starting with a light Smoky Slate, and I'm going to color the face and the legs of each sheep. Like I said, all the sheep I saw were so many different colors. I felt like I wanted to go outside the box a little bit, but then in the end, I chickened out and went with kind of generic, cheap-ish colors. sheepish colors. I have a little mini series going on with sheep this week. I don't know if you guys subscribe to my newsletter. It went out last night. I send it on Mondays and Thursdays, and there's always a free tutorial in it. And it was sheep, and because I'm going a little bit sheep crazy. I love these little guys. I think they're just so fun. And not tomorrow, Sunday on Stamp with Tami, I have a free card tutorial. I finished it up yesterday, and I absolutely love it. It's the sheep. It's another sheep, and I think you guys are just gonna love it. It's so adorable. So, just a little hint of stuff coming in the future. Don't forget. I mean, if you're here watching on YouTube, we love it. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. If you're watching on Facebook, same. But don't forget, my stampwithtami.com blog is full of inspiration. So there's more than just videos. I have free tutorials for you there every week. All right, so I'm taking this is the ivory Stampin' Blend markers, and I'm just kind of outlining the inside of its fur. One thing I noticed about all the sheep that I saw on my trip was they're dirty. They're hanging out. All they seem to do is eat and poo and chew grass all day long, and if they're not cleanly shaved, a lot of them are matted, and so I thought this looked like a more appropriate sheep color here, because it made it look more like the actual sheep that I saw, at least. So now I'm taking the color blender and I'm just blending that in for the sheep. All right, so the markers that I'm using right now, Shirley, are alcohol markers. I'm sorry if I didn't mention that. These are Stampin' Blend alcohol markers. And so that's why when I started with the smoky slate, I blended them, and I probably didn't do a very good job explaining that. So let me just color another one in so I can explain it. I took the light. I started there. I'm going around his eyes so his eye stays white, because I want that to jump out at you. Okay, so I'm taking the light blend here and just coloring, but then I'm taking the darker smoky slate. They come in a combo, dark and light. And so then I'm just highlighting around his face and maybe a little bit on his little legs and ear. And then going back to the light, that's the order I like to do it in, to just blend that in. There, sorry, that was a better demonstration, right? And for those of you watching, and I know Sue asked the question, why was I doing the blending brush with my right hand? This is why. Because when I'm coloring, I cover. I know those of you who are lefties get it. All right, so now we're going to do some die cut work. So we're going to cut out our sheep. We've got 3 sheep. We're going to color them. We're going to cut them. And then I'm going to take the layering circles and I'm going to cut out the moon with the layering circles. And I'm also going to cut out from the sheep dies. It could be a cloud. It could be a mound of dirt. And it could be... It could be a lot of different things. I made it grass for this particular card. And actually, Sue, thank you. Sue is just on top of things today. I had this white pen out here for exactly that reason. She said you could use that to make his eye white. And sometimes I accidentally colored inside his eye. And when I did that, I just dabbed the white chalk pen in it to make it white. So you could go either way with that. But I did leave it out there for that reason. Okay, so through the magic of video, I pre-cut these. So I cut about several of those. I made them grass mounts, so I cut them out of old olive. And then I've got my 3 sheep cut. And then I took the Give It a Whirl die set. Now, those of you who are regulars on my classes recognize both the Moon set and the Give It a Whirl set. I had a whole series on this. In fact, I'm going to share some of those cards when I finish up. But I will share, actually I'll share this one right now, because here's another completely different one I did here with the Give It a Whirl set and the To the Moon. So the same stamp set, the Moon stamp set and the Give It a Whirl set together to make this spinner. I have another video showing how to make that. You'll find that on my blog or on stampwithtami.com. If you go to stampwithtami.com, you can just type in Give It a Whirl and all of these projects will come up. So I'm going to take, for this particular one, I'm just taking the wheel today. And I am taking, this is Stampin' Up! Makes window sheets. They're acetate, but they're also made to be kind of die cut and worked with for crafting. and I cut that wheel out of the window sheet. It's very hard to see because it's clear, which I want. As we get going, that's what I want, right? And so that's what we're going to put our sheep on. But before we do that, I'm going to finish up. I have one more piece of stamping, so I'm just going to put our die cut pieces aside for 1 minute. And we're going to do, this is some heat embossing. Got a little bit of everything going on today. Yes, Sherry is giving a hint there on putting paper underneath when you're using your Stampin' blends. She is absolutely correct. I'm using the small grade paper. This actually is in my online store, but it's made to fit inside the Stamparatus. I use that underneath, and the reason why is because, and actually those didn't bleed, but a lot of times when you're coloring with Stampin' blends, it bleeds through. So that is a good tip, and I appreciate you throwing that out there. Okay, so now we're going to do a little heat embossing, and I am using words from the To the Moon stamp set. So this one I use this Love You to the Moon and Back. Now I'm going to start with the Emboss Buddy. I know we no longer carry this, so if you don't have one of these and you want to use something that's going to keep static down, especially here because the white specks will show on the darker piece of designer paper. And so a Swiffer works, a dryer sheet works, anything like that. And I should note, before I start stamping here, the paper that I'm using here, it's new paper from the big catalog. This is called Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. There's a whole really beautiful suite, and I've used this before with the hats. I used it as I've used this one as camouflage before. And also, in the beginning, I did the blends for this this piece right here, but this piece of designer paper would also work really well. And then the back side of that designer paper, if you want to check it out. It looks so much better in person than it does in the catalog. So I just cut a little piece, and I have all of the measurements for everything that I'm doing today. I'm using the I Love You to the Moon and some Versamark ink. And we're going to stamp, I stamped that at like an angle because I thought that looked kind of cool. Something just a little different on that designer paper. And the Versamark, very hard to see it, I know, but trust me, it's there. It's there. And you'll see it in just a second. I'm going to take that scrap paper that I used earlier and just use it to catch our embossed powder. Embossed powder comes in these little jars. Okay, and then okay, so I just poured the powder right over the top, and then we flicked up the rest, put this back in the jar, good to go. And then we're going to take our handy dandy heat tool and do some heat embossing with that. This is the best way to get white words on your project, is using the heat embossing. Because it really stands out. There we go. Yay! When I changed the screen, there was no sound. Really? Oh, interesting. Good to know. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Well, we will continue on with this one then. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so here I've got the words done on this one. You know what? I'm going to do one more little thing on this one if I can find where I put my phone folder. If not, I guess I'm not. All right, so normally I have a bone folder down here. I guess I don't right now. So I'm just going to do this by hand. But what I did was I roughed up, and it's easier to do this with the bone folder than a fingernail. the little edge here, just to give it a little something, so it wasn't just like a straight edge on this. Okay. All right, so now we are ready for some assembly. So I want to go ahead and take that. We're going to bring this back in. So this is our window sheet, and we'll bring in our little pieces that I've pre-cut through the magic of video, and we'll go ahead and make our wheel. So we're going to take the 3 sheep. I'm just using Sale adhesive on these guys, and I'm just going to put each sheep. I put them up as high as you can get it on the wheel here. I'm heat embossing. You guys are talking about the heat. Yeah. Yeah, it is hot. It's hot here too. I'm happy to be in the air conditioning today. I'm very, very grateful for that. I feel like the higher up I got the sheep there, they weren't quite touching each other that way. So that's going to be our spinny wheel right there with our sheep on it. All right, now let's go ahead and I'm going to line up. Actually, let's see. Let's pre-cut our moon here. I use the layering circles to cut the moon. And we'll just put that at the top of our project. And that is going to help with the lining up of the sheep. So then I just put the sheep where I wanted it, and I can find my mat, my piercing mat. I think I did forget to list this part in the instructions. But this is the paper piercing mat. Here I'm going to take the take your pick tool with the piercing end and just poke a hole there. And we're going to bring in a brad. So these are the square and circle brads, round and square brads. Stampin' Up makes these. I want the small one. I didn't want the brad to really stand out. I didn't hide it this time. Sometimes I do, but this one I didn't. I just didn't want it to be the focal point. I wanted the sheep to steal the show, so to speak. Bah. All right, so now if I put that, now I feel like that's kind of low. And you know what? Because of this particular one, let's see how it looks with this on it. I probably should have done. No, actually, that's good. That's perfect. Actually, that's perfect right there. Okay. All right. Before I attach this layer, though, let's go ahead and put on these little pieces, our little mounds of grass. And you can attach those mini glue dot. I'm going to use some Sale adhesive. Tina, you're funny. She said that's a bad pun. You are right. All right. Oh, but I love these sheep, and I can't help it out. You can't help but smile when you see this. So if you know somebody who needs a smile, this is a great set for it. All right, so I'm layering a couple of the grass mounds on top of each other, and then some of them I'm just going to put standalone by themselves. This one I'm even going to go a little bit off the edge. There we go. Very random putting them on here. Okay. And I want to space that one a little bit more. There. Okay, there we go. Now we've got our little grass mounds on there. I'm going to trim off the edge of the ones that I hung over the edge there. And I did do that intentionally. All right, so now we're ready to assemble. So I have gone ahead and I've pre-done the card base, the free PDF on my stampwithtami.com blog has the measurements here, and I do apologize if I flip over to that screen. Apparently, you guys can't hear me. That's what I'm told. Let's see if I. Okay, now I think I fixed it. Okay. So, anywho, this has all the measurements on it. It has everything I'm using on it. So you get the measurements of the card base on here that I already have done there. Sorry, there was no sound on there. Oh, Diana, I'm not avoiding your question. I'm sorry, I just didn't see it the first two times you asked. She is asking how my foot is doing. And I apologize. Sometimes I'm stamping and I miss things as I go. And I catch them later when I'm reading the retweets. But as I will tell you, I mean, I love doing it. I love stamping with you guys, but sometimes it is hard to read all the comments as you're stamping and trying to explain things. So forgive me. My foot is doing okay. I broke my foot when I was away on my trip, for those of you who didn't know that, which is why I was a little bit behind with work and things, but it is doing okay. I'm getting around a lot easier than I was last week, and things are getting a little bit better, a little bit every day, right? So I've turned over the, this is the panel that we have our words on. Now I'm going to be very careful here. In fact, I don't want that sheep head to stick out, so I feel like I might need to move where I've placed that. But also I want to be very careful where I'm placing my dimensionals here, because I don't want it to stick to the sheep. I'm going to move the sheep over just a hair and hope that nobody sees that goof, just because the sheep seemed like he was going off the edge a little bit, and we don't want that. All right, so I'm going to pierce her back in. Okay, right about there. I actually, you know what? I actually think I had said to put these up as high as you can on the window sheet, but don't go over the edge, because I think that might be part of why he's sticking out. So I'm just going to reel him in just a hair, and I think that will help. Let's see. And there. And okay. I think that's better. So I'm going to redo my little brad there. Don't worry, everything's fixable. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the card. Okay, so in order to get adhesive as close to get the Stampin' Dimensionals as close to this spinny wheel, because I don't want this layer to be flat. I need the spinny wheel to spin underneath it. I'm actually going to put these two dimensionals directly on this panel where the sheep are. And then I have 3 more on the bottom here. I suppose if you wanted to, you could do them all right there. That would probably work too. But that way, you know you didn't put any where it's going to touch your spinny wheel, and your spinny wheel is going to spin round and round and round, and somebody's touching something. Somebody got stuck in there. Somebody's touching something. Okay, there we go. So our wheel is spinny. It's ready to go. We're just going to put in, I'm going to do seal adhesive to attach it to the card base. Okay. And our card is complete. Yeah, really that easy. It was super easy, right? And there goes our sheep. Boom. And you can't even see the mistake that I had made originally. You know what? That's what it is. This brad isn't down flat enough. There we go. You can't even see the mistake that I made earlier, right? Where I put the brad. I didn't like where I put the brad. Sheep are jumping over the moon. You can keep counting them to your heart's content. And it is awesome. And just another awesome card made with that Give It a Whirl die set. And this is the die set here. I know I shared it earlier, but just so you can kind of see the pieces that go along with it. So many fun things that you can do with this Give It a Whirl die set. And I have a couple of samples here. I shared the one with the, this is another one done with the To the Moon stamp set. Didn't use the sheep. This one didn't use the sheep, but you can see how the words change in each one. So you get a little greeting that goes around in there. And I have a video that shares how to make this one. And then this one was made by Alice Houston for a swap. This has the Stellar Birthday on it. So super fun. So I have a little tutorial on how to make this one. I don't have a video because it was made by somebody else. But I did reverse engineer it. In other words, AKA I took it apart. And just to share how she made the inside so you guys could recreate it. So again, if you type in Give It a Whirl on stampwithtami.com search, these will all come up so you'll get them. And one more tutorial that I have there is for Hey Chick, right? This is Hey Birthday Chick, actually. Super cute, right? So those are some other ideas and tutorials that I have using the Give It a Whirl. I have more sheep ideas coming on Sunday, a really cute sheep coming on Sunday. They're all really cute, right? Is that not stinking cute? It is the cutest stinking thing. And so the sheep are available free during Sale-a-bration. You can get those free with a $50 order. You can get the stamp set and you can get the die set. They're individual, each one free with a $50 order. But the dies, we're told, may possibly sell out before the end of Sale-a-bration. So I do recommend, if they're on your list, don't wait. Put those to the top of your list. And thank you for joining me. As always, when I have a live class, I'm always giving away something fun. And this time it's the Bunches of Fun. Get it? Fun stamp set. And all you need to do to earn it is, and I have the wrong video typed in there. Leave a comment on the wrong video, but leave a comment on this one. I will fix that before I post it on the blog, I promise. Leave a comment on this video, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, either one, and I will automatically enter you to win this drawing because I appreciate the love. And if you share this, I will enter you a second time, drawing that on August 2nd. Oh, thank you. You, love you, EWE, love you back. All right, well, thank you for all of this. And if you love my video classes, love all of the things that you see, and want to learn more and can and that deal when you join is even better because you get the free bundle with the demonstrator kit. All available, all that information on stampwithtami.com. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you back next week. Thanks for joining me.